Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the ASWARA on Air challenge, and welcome to my voice clinic. I am very happy to see everyone here. I hope everyone is staying safe during this pandemic. Yeah, it's still important for us to stay indoors, but look at the bright side. We've got so much to do online, and all of a sudden now online is the thing these days. If you're not online, you're not living in the moment. So I'm so happy to see everyone today. And today we also have new friends joining us. So I'd like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Casey Broadway. I teach at the Faculty of Music in ASWARA. And this series is brought to you by ASWARA in order to reach out to everyone in various fields in terms of voice, music, drama, dance, and many more. So today, I will be having a special friend of mine, in which I will introduce to you in a short while. I'll put on a slide for you. Okay, I'll be introducing to you today Dr. Ashwini Nair. So let's welcome Dr. Ashwini.
Hi, Casey. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? It has been a while.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Ashwini.
It's my pleasure, Dr. Casey.
So today we'll be talking on two topics. We'll be talking about the jaw and also the very, very popular questions. If I'm going to wear braces, will it affect my singing? So I think a lot of people here is going to be very happy to get the answers today. All right. So just for new friends who have joined today, I'll recap what we have done. So far we have talked about everything got to do with voice science, because this voice clinic is intended to give you more insight into the voice science, into what you can do, because everyone has a beautiful voice. Everyone has the talent, and talent, let me tell you, talent comes from attitude. If you have the right attitude, you will have talent, because I don't believe in saying someone is not talented. It's that someone doesn't have the right attitude to make themselves talented, because all these vocabularies are human made. All right, so it's not set in stone. So I think talent is something in which I personally would like to delete from my vocabulary list, and I substitute it with attitude, because if you have the right attitude, you all can be talented, and you all are, and you all have beautiful voice. And who are we to judge one another, to say that, your voice doesn't sound nice, my voice sounds better, he sound better, her sound better. It's just a matter of angles. Like, some people like certain singers while other people don't. Some people like heavy metal music, and some people just can't. Yeah, so it's really subjective. So voice science came up in the 80s. Yeah, started in the 80s. So it's relatively new, 80s, 90s. So it's less than 40 years. I think about 30 over years. So it's really, really very, very new as compared to the old classical method, like for hundreds of years. So voice science looks into the physiology, the anatomy of the voice, and see what parts of the body produces what kinds of sound. And this gives you an idea of what is safe and what is not safe, and what you can do with it. Because many of us, I get this question as a voice trainer, voice coach. People come to me is that they always come and say that, I don't have a good voice, can you make me sing? And some people were like, when they say, oh, sing me a song, they'll say like, no, you don't want to listen to me. I don't have a good voice. But when you really look at their faces, they'll tell you like, if you teach me to sing, if you tell me the secrets, I will sing. I want to sing. Yeah, it's because we have been told in our society of like how prim and proper singing is like. Okay, now, I mean, take a look at this, a little bit of philosophy. If you look at nature, in the animal kingdom, no one tells the next bird or the next animal there that you don't sound pretty. Okay? But human beings are very judgmental. The moment a person just goes a little bit short of breath here, it goes like, I think you better get some training with it. Well, I mean, but we can't help it. We are all human beings. So we have to live with this judgmental society as long as this species of human beings exist in this world. So, but what we can do is learn how to improve ourselves. And thankfully, thank you to ASWARA, thank you to our beloved rector, Prof. Saha, that created this ASWARA on-air challenge, that we've brought this show now to, and we bring medical professionals and also people in the industry to join us on board and discuss. So what we've done is we've started with power, source, and filter, and talking about power, which is the breath from the lungs. That's the power. And going up to the source, which is your vocal folds that produce the sound. And filter, which is everything above the true vocal folds. So imagine you have the electricity, you plug into the guitar, you strum the string, and then it goes to the amplifier, and there you have it. And then if you can also change the sound to some other things of distortion and so on. So that's the power source filter. And we've also talked about the thyroid cartilage, the cricoid cartilage, and the larynx. So for those of you who have missed our shows in the past, we are now talking about this area of the throat, which is your larynx, or your Adam's apple, right? If you don't know what is it, you can just put your finger here and slide all the way through until you find the notch, right? All right, so yeah, for the slimmer built guys, it's easier to notice your notch. I would have to lose another 25 kilos in order to be a bit more noticeable, which I told myself I'll try. All right, so we've worked with that. So we know that larynx height, we've talked about larynx height. Larynx, if you raise the larynx up high and try to speak as cute as possible like this, you can raise your pitch up high and sound more gentle. And I can lower down my larynx and I sound darker and like a more matured person, like a big giant. Right? So you can see you can alter your voice that way. All right, just by moving up and down the larynx, okay? So you can try that, but maintain the same pitch. It's just say if you do Now this is easier said than done, because when you do it, if you are not aware what you're doing, the pitch will go different. It will go like all right, so that defeats the purpose of practicing with the larynx, because what we want in this voice science is for you to be able to master every single part of the vocal tract independently, because muscles work as a group, they don't work in isolation. Yeah, when we talk with Dr. Ashwini later, she'll be able to fill in all the mystery gaps. Okay, so yeah, so they work in but now we can isolate all these muscles in order for us to work certain sound that we want. All right, so that's the larynx height. And we also talked about the thyroid cartilage, in which it can tilt and it can be vertical. So when it tilts, it gives you that sweet sound, that sound which people will say, merdunya suara awak, bagai bulu perindu. Right? Okay, so that tilting of the voice, or that tilting of the thyroid cartilage, I beg your pardon, also helps you to get a natural vibrato. Yeah, so some people ask like, how can you train me how to get vibrato? Well, I'll just look at it and it's like, well, you train vibrato on the violin because you physically, you have to do it. But in terms of a singer, you don't train yourself to do You tilt your thyroid, and naturally that will cause that vibration, that tilting of the thyroid. So in singing, we seldom teach people how to do vibrato, and it comes naturally. And it's, for some people, it's very instinctive to get that, but to the majority, it's a little bit very very abstract thing because it's very difficult to feel all these small movements. Yeah, so yeah, the tilting of the thyroid cartilage because it tilts and it pulls the true vocal folds, making it thin, and then you get sweet sounds. And also we talked about the cricoid cartilage, which is below the cricoid cartilage, which is below the thyroid cartilage. So the cricoid cartilage gives you that large, big, brassy sound, that sound which goes, "Hey!" like the Italians. Isn't it? The Italians go, "Hey!" Right? So yeah. So we also learned that. So and the cricoid cartilage is important if you want to be a belter. If you want to be Jennifer Hudson, you want to be Jennifer Holiday, you want to be Beyonce, you want to be all those singers, you want to be Freddie Mercury, you've got to learn how to tilt your cricoid cartilage. All right. So yeah, so we've covered that in the past. So if you want to look at those videos, I've recorded all of the sessions and uploaded them. Now, there are a few ways I've anticipated because I know I'm also part of society and I know that not everyone is able to join at a certain time. So what I've done for you is that I've uploaded it on my personal Facebook, which you can look at Casey Broadway, or you can look at my fan page. I've just activated a fan page, all right? So I'm trying to get my first 500 likes. So please do help me with that. I'm quite bad with social media, but MCO has encouraged me, has inspired me to be a little bit more into the technology, and I'm trying, and I finally gave in to Instagram. Yes, I've connected my Instagram as well. So if you look under Dr. Casey Broadway, you'll get that. So I've also uploaded it there, and I also have my own YouTube channel. All right, so which I will link so on in my Facebook. So all these videos are uploaded in my Facebook, and you can check from the past series on what we have talked. Now, if there's anything in there in which you need clarification, please do email me or get in touch with me on Facebook or on email. That's the best thing. I am very active on my Facebook. I check my phone like every 20 minutes. I can't live with it, and so most probably you'll get me on Facebook, and also email. Yeah, someone has managed to get me at 2 a.m. one day. A very lucky person. I was really about to sleep, and then suddenly, ping! That message came in. I thought like, okay, I'll just read, and I ended up giving a session to that person over the phone to just talk about the voice. Well, so you can watch on those because it's important, and along the way, because like what I said, we have 13 vocal tracks to cover before we move to the interesting stuff, to start singing and so on. So and at the beginning of each session, I revise and talk a little bit about what has been covered, so that new people will know where we are, and people who have been watching the series will also be updated. Okay, because when learning this anatomy, it's the same as medical professions as well. Because for people who are in the medical line, they deal with it every day, so it becomes second nature for them. You talk about any of the muscles, it's there for them, and they deal with it. But if we are not in the medical line, a lot of these anatomies sometimes are alien terms. What on earth is a sternocleidomastoid muscle? What is a quadratus lumborum? I love all this terminology because each time when you give this lecture to your students, you look at their faces and go, what is that? It's like, it's not magic. Yeah, so on today's topic, so we will talk about the jaw, and we also will talk about braces, okay? All right, so we will talk about the jaws. Let me just turn on my iPad. Yes, so the jaw is another important figure. So the jaw is a filter, all right? So remember I talked about power source filter. So the power is the breath, it's raw. With the breath alone, you don't get anything. It passes through the vocal folds, which is the source, because the vocal folds will vibrate a few hundred cycles per second. It's not per hour, it's not per minute, it's per second. All right, so if you put a camera inside on stroboscopy with strobe lighting, you will see it, and you have to use strobe because or else it's going to be it's too fast to see, so you need strobe to slow it down. Yeah. If we have time later, I'll play for you videos and you can see. And I assure you, if you keep on following this series, you will love voice science and anatomy because everyone is able to do it. Okay, and I'm going to help you. All right, so that's why I say I'm offering that at any time at all. If you don't understand and you want to know more, be in touch with me. I would love to help everyone to get to know voice science. Okay, so the jaw. So there's a power, the source. Now, when the source produces that vibration of sound, it produces sound waves, but it's still raw. You can't hear anything. For example, say, you all know that sound from that famous Japanese horror movie, isn't it? Ju-on. That monster is coming out and going in that sound. Well, that's raw sound produced by your vocal folds. Now, after that, those raw vibrations moves up into what we call the filter. So the filter changes everything into something that you and I understand. We have got the lips, the tongue, the jaw, the velum, the epiglottis, the false vocal folds. So today we'll talk about the jaw, because the jaw helps us also in terms of giving color to the type of timbre that you are singing. Now, when a person sings, sometimes you will go like, I don't know if you come across this or not. Some people will say, oh, you sing opera very well, or you sing pop very well. People have certain bias of sounds. Now, these can be altered, not only one way. This is only one of the ways, yeah? Also by your jaw. Okay, because these are 4 positions in which you can do. We can do forward jaw, this way. Then at your resting position, which is your mid, you don't have to do anything, it's there. And then you have also your back jaw, to the back. And you have a drop jaw, like you're surprised. So the sound they produce is a bit different. So you're going to see first, I'm going to turn on my voice print in a while. So you have the forward jaw, E, U, mid, E, U, back, E, U, and the drop jaw, E, U. So did you hear 4 different distinct sounds? E, 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 E. It's a very, very simple thing, but sometimes when you don't look in the mirror to see what is happening, we don't realize. Like myself, for example, I've been singing and I don't look myself in the mirror when I sing. In which I told myself nowadays, you've got to learn how to appreciate yourself in the mirror, and then other people will appreciate to see you. You see, I'm learning that as well. Okay, I'm not ashamed to say all this because we all have our insecurities. Maybe some people have insecurities about their voice. I don't. But some people have no insecurities about their physical appearance. I'm learning. I'm not saying that I do. I'm learning. I'm getting there. So the moral of it was when I start looking into the mirror of how I sing, and then I begin to see, I actually did this. So each time when I was trying to sound darker, I was actually moving my jaw in front. And I didn't realize that because when I was learning voice science in the Esteel voice training, in which Dr. Ashwini and Peng and Rat, all of us were in the same training. Yeah, right. We learned that, but it never occurred to me I used that because I kept on thinking, all right, who in their right mind will want to sing that way? Until I look in the mirror, oh dear, you are using it. And I realized, it comes naturally for me. When I wanted dark sounds, I did this. All right. Okay, so let's look at the voice print. All right, so this is the voice spring. So let's look at it. E, 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 e. And let's play it. E, 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 e. So look at here and compare all these highlighted parts, the brightened parts. So you can see this one is slightly darker here, lower, and then it goes higher. This is the forward jaw. It's clear and bright up there. It slightly went down, slightly darker. And drop jaw, you have full spectrum here, which means when you open your mouth, you get larger sound. If you remember two series ago, Mr. Anthony Villanueva from the Philippines was talking about how the jaw, in which they want choristers to drop the jaw in order to get a big full sound. So when you go on the voice spring, this is what you get. So that is why in the classical world, they always tell you to have rounder sound opening up there. And if you're in the choir, they tell you drop your jaw. Oh, yeah. We can try it and see how it goes. So if I do it just normal, yeah. Now let me do it with drop jaw. Yeah. See the difference a little bit here? There's a little bit more brightness here. So when you're reading the spectrogram, right, don't expect to see pictures or words and telling you that describing it. You will really have to look at the shades and the colors and interpreting it. All right. So we can see this one has more sound. It has more brightness over here compared to the normal one. So which one is better and which one is not? It depends. If you're singing a classical song or you're in a choir, a drop jaw probably will be good. I know a lot of my students up here, you know, when you're singing, for example, you're singing Soleram, Soleram, Soleram. You want that because if you are singing it normal, you get Soleram, Soleram. But if you're singing never mind, I find someone like you. You don't want to sing, never mind, I find someone like you. Or else you will have Mr. Pavarotti trying to sing Viva Forever that way. All right, so that is something with the jaw. All right, so now I will invite Dr. Ashwini because she has prepared a whole set of slides which I'm very excited to share with you. So welcome on board, Dr. Ashwini.
Hi, Casey. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. So
tell us a little bit about yourself.
okay, there's nothing much. Like I'm a very simple person. Okay, so I hail from Seremban, and I've been a dentist since 2017. And I currently, work with a private dental firm. So I've been singing like since I was 10. And then I was in classical Indian music, which I got really bored out of, which had a lot of vibrato, of course, as you know. And then later on, I discovered my passion after I met Dr. Casey in BTSM. Like seriously, found light for my soul, literally. And I've been so addicted to it. But I was in Johor, so I had to travel and everything, and it was difficult traveling after a while, right, Casey?
You traveled every week, like I remember from Johor to Kuala Lumpur for lessons and also for choir and drive back. Yes, that was a crazy time, isn't it?
It was a crazy time. We used to go back at midnight, but I never felt like it was a waste of time because it was amazing. And I think we went to Sydney for a still vocal course in October 2018, somewhere near my birthday, I remember. And we had a lot of fun. And I've learned a lot. I mean, of course, as a medical professional, you know all these things, but when you put it together, right, you see things from a different dimension that you've not seen before. And I'm so jealous that people of ASWARA get it from Casey, and we had to go all the way to Sydney. All the way to Sydney with that cold. Remember, Casey, it was
Oh yes,
raining, I think.
in the rain, and we were craving for
Yes.
Greek food, and we said we have the
Yes.
next day, and the next day came, and the Greek restaurant was closed, so we ended up with
Yes.
Greek fast food.
It was a crazy, crazy time, but memorable experience, right, Casey?
Yes, and also Peng and Rad, they are also in here
Oh,
with us.
really?
Yes, Peng and Rad, would you say hi?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hello, it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's very interesting now that we
Mhm.
want to ask you to help us elaborate and discuss more about the jaw, because as your profession as a dentist, and you've also learned voice science, and you're also a singer and an instrumentalist. Uh, so how do you adapt in all these, and tell us about how what you see in this jaw that influences singing. And secondly, also the topic which a lot of times I get students texting me. In fact, last week, just someone texted me a week plus ago, "Sir, I want to get braces. I want your advice. Does it affect my singing when I put on braces?" So I forgot to say, like, you should wait for this series, because Dr. Ashwini will explain everything. So tell us, Dr. Ashwini, about your presentation
Sure.
today.
Sure. I'll just share my slideshow with you guys. Is it right? Oh my God. Don't see anything here. Do you see anything, Casey?
Not yet.
Should I stop sharing first? I'm so sorry. I'm really new at Zoom.
All right.
So, all right. Can you see it now?
I think you have to. Ah, yes.
All right. Oops, sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay, from beginning. All right. There we go. Okay, all right. So today we're going to talk about the jaw, teeth, and also how it's related to singing. Okay, so if you need to ask me anything, please don't mind stopping me anywhere. Okay, so let's jump straight into the jaw. Okay, so the jaw, as you know, it's this, right? The jaw is this. So what just as what Casey said before, there's so many positions of jaw, and there are so many people who has that position of jaw naturally. You see people who have the jaw protruded in front and everything. um so they basically speak in that way because they are naturally adapted to it. They're born to it that way, right? So, well, everyone has different ways of singing, but as long as they have the right attitude towards it, I think they can sing well. So what I want to point out here is that the jaw basically is not a single unit when it comes to singing. It's like a collaboration between the jaw, tongue, larynx, teeth, everything. It's like a, bekerja sama. So it's like a, how do you say it's a
Works together.
co-effort. Yeah, co-effort works together. So when we talk about jaw, so this is actually a comparison between the child's jaw. Can you see my cursor? You can see my
Yep.
cursor, right? So this is the child's jaw, and this is the adult's jaw. So as you can see, there is definitely a lesser number of teeth in the child's jaw when we compare it to an adult's jaw, right?
Yeah.
So as and when we grow and grow and grow, the number of teeth also increases. Okay, how many teeth and everything depends on your genetics. Like me, I don't have my third molars because, well, I don't know. I think my mom doesn't have third molars as well. Maybe. So what happens is that when the amount of teeth increases, our body that naturally gives it space for it to grow. But then if it asks for too much of space, for example, third molars, we call wisdom tooth, but really it doesn't have any wisdom at all. So, so it actually naturally adapts to it and gives space for it to grow, forward and also towards the sides. Okay, as we can see, this is actually how our radiograph or a radiograph will look when you have both baby teeth and also adult teeth. As you can see, the teeth which has already come out here, right? This has already come out that you can see in a person's mouth. This is actually the baby's teeth, and as you see, this was the limit till where the jaw was then, right? But since there are two additional teeth, you see how the jaw basically has given space for the teeth to come out. You see?
So
So
it forms, it gets long,
yeah,
the tissues build up.
yes, get longer and also wider because the teeth are wider in size. You see, so the front teeth has only one root, but
Mm.
this has two roots and this has three roots and stuff like that. So the tooth becomes a bit fatter, a bit bigger. So the jaw also, you know, naturally becomes bigger as well. All right.
And influences the space as well for the acoustical
Mm,
sound, isn't it?
true. It also affects, as you know, the child definitely has a different voice compared to the an adult,
Because
right?
it's a smaller instrument as compared
Mm-hmm.
to a larger instrument, you have larger cavity.
Mm-hmm. Surface area and stuff like that. Okay, so this is a common question that people ask me about why is his teeth straight and not mine? I mean, well, it always is like that. He's like, oh, kenapa macam ni, kenapa not like that? And but there are so many reasons. Let me tell you, and these are all the reasons that you can probably Google it up because I'm not going to go through each and everything. It would be rather boring. But mainly, I will tell you one thing: if you're going to have a teeth which is a bit sengit, a bit crooked like that, your child will also have the same. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very much influenced by genetics. Your jaw, your teeth, your tongue. Some of them can roll their tongue back. I cannot. Everything is influenced by genetics, and genetics plays a very big role in that. Okay, so what happens when your teeth is not aligned? Well, of course, it affects singing. Why it affects singing is because sometimes the thing that I would like to emphasize here is that when you lose your front teeth, especially if you see like older people, or maybe a person who just had an accident or lost his front teeth, there will be too much of air which comes out. So that will cause whistling or what we call lisping, and that will definitely affect whatever you're singing, especially Isaiah Derab, I think. Okay, so this is when you go and get braces. So braces in our dental term, we call it orthodontics. Why ortho? Ortho means bones, just like orthopedic, right? You've heard orthopedic. So ortho means bones. Dontic is dental or we teeth, basically odontology. So that's why we call it as orthodontics. All
Huh?
right. Now, when we talk about jaw,
Uh-huh.
jaw, we talk about something known as the TMJ. Definitely
That's
not
your
this
favorite.
TMJ. Yeah, really? I was in Johor once, so I've always seen his face.
It's a
And
TJ. Alright.
yes, TMJ, not Tunku Makoto Johor, but temporomandibular joint. Why temporomandibular joint is because we have this temporalis muscle here, temporal, and it's connected to the lower jaw, yeah, which is called the mandible. So it's temporomandibular, and we have a joint here. You open your mouth and you close, you can already feel it. So that's the temporomandibular joint, and it plays a lot of significant roles in the sense that when you open your mouth too wide, let's say you're an opera singer and you want to suddenly open it, you're not too comfortable with it, and then you open it and then somebody comes and hit it on from your front, somebody come and punches you on the face, and yeah, you can get a dislocated jaw. All right. So
Okay.
we have a lot of ligaments and condyles and cartilages, just like your normal knee where you have the cartilage, you have a ligament, you can have a ligament there. That pretty normal. Okay, so TMJ, what causes TMJ problems? Uh, the normal thing that we do every single day, every one of us, we have something known as tooth grinding. Every one of us. Okay, especially during MCO, we just need to go out and till ninth we can. Even me, I'm so frustrated. Okay, so what happens is whenever you clench your jaw like that, there's so much of pressure which is applied to the joint, right? So when it's applied to the joint, you put so much of pressure to the poor little condyle here, it becomes inflamed, right? So this is when we get tinnitus. You open your mouth and you sakit sangat here. This is when you get all these problems. And also, like I said, I don't have impacted tooth. I mean, I don't have wisdom tooth because of genetics, because of what we call the evolution. We tend not to have wisdom tooth anymore. So when a slacker like this, we call it, we have so many types of impactions lah. But then when it's right there, and it disturbs the normal, what do you call that, normal pathophysiology or whatever of the tooth. It has no space, but you just want to come out, you just want to cause trouble. So that's why I tell people it has no wisdom, actually, honestly, wisdom to fix problems. So these are, a few things that can cause TMJ problems. So now we go about the physiology of speech. Just like I told you before, it's a collaboration between so many things, not just the jaw, not just the teeth. Okay, so I'll just run through, because otherwise it's going to be very dry. Okay, so we have bilabial, where the upper lip and lower lip produces sound. Okay, and then we have labiodental, where lips and teeth. For example, we have like V or something like that. And interdental basically means in between your tooth. Okay, the place where we ask you to floss. Yeah, that is interdental. All right. And then we have alveolar. Alveolar basically means the bone. That's a big term, but it's just the bone, the bone below your gum. That's all. And then the dental. Apparently, the English consonant and English songs doesn't have anything to do with dental teeth. I'm not sure, and to dental sounds, but maybe other languages has it lah. Okay. Apparently it doesn't, so that's why I didn't.
Is it like when you say dental sound, are those sounds which has like retroflex and so on?
It's like like French sounds, like how do I say? There are some French words where you use both the tongue and the upper teeth.
Like is it those kind?
Yeah, like I don't remember my French now all of a sudden, but never mind. I'm learning.
Okay, we don't worry. We will explore that as well, because you were mentioning about the lips and also the tongue, in which next week actually we'll be talking about the tongue. So yeah.
All right. And then we have the palato-alveolar. The palate, basically, palate lah, our normal palate, can. And I'm sure even if you put your tongue right here on top, you feel a bit ticklish. So that's the rugae, they call it, right? The ticklish feeling. So that's the palate, and also the bone below it. Because you know that when you have a tissue and you don't have a bone below it, you cannot produce resonance. You cannot produce sound. So that's how it affects. And the palate only as well. So when it combines, it produces a different kind of sound. When it doesn't combine, also it produces different kind of sound. And this one, I think Dr. Casey has covered this. Velum. I've heard velum so many times. Yes, I never knew it was the soft.
Yeah, but not on this series.
Definitely. I'm so tired of listening to velum. And later only I knew that, actually velum is soft palate, because we learn it as soft palate.
Yes.
And the uvula.
I always say the strepsils man.
Yes, the strepsils man, exactly.
Yeah, so don't worry, guys, because I will cover velum as well. It's part of the vocal tract, but not today. Today is the jaw and the teeth. Right.
And then the pharynx, and definitely back to our basics, vocal folds, false vocal folds, true vocal folds. And that's Dr. Casey's domain. He's way specialized in that. So when it comes to type of braces, the questions that comes when come about braces altogether, there are so many types of braces, but they look different, but the function is actually the same. Okay, but basically when you want to talk about aesthetics or cost and stuff like that, that's when we come up with different kind of braces. When ceramic braces, it's not exactly visible. When you look at somebody and it's not too visible, some people prefer it that way. Some people have lingual braces, which is on the back of your tooth. You know this braces, right? You've seen it before.
Yes.
But the most common problem with people who are wearing braces, the most very common, is that they cannot take care of their oral hygiene. Basically, because you have so many things in your mouth. I mean, how does somebody does that? I mean, I've never had braces, but I can understand. But we all give that judgmental, like, hey, come on, you can't even do this kind of look. But it's difficult. I understand. Totally understand. Like, the most common problem is your gum swelling, because you cannot take care of your oral hygiene. You have bleeding gums, you have ulcers like this. Okay. And yeah, when your cheek gets caught in bracket, that's a very common problem that I see. Actually, Casey, we had somebody in our choir, Jamie. She was wearing braces, remember?
Yep.
And for me, sometimes when she talks, it's really difficult for me to understand because she has all these problems as well. She always complains, oh, Ash, how to do this, how to do that.
So she
And then,
has to adapt into when you're having
true,
braces, you will have to adapt your filters in order to
true.
produce clearer
Mm-hmm.
phonation and articulation.
Mm-hmm, that's very true. And then I think once in a while, you get your braces tightened, right? You
Mhm.
tighten those wires and you get the sore teeth. Oh my God. My friend had it. He had to have only porridge and he was a dentist. And trust me, I saw him suffering. It's not easy. I tell you, it's not easy. And of course, if you have anything foreign in your mouth, you'll have a lot of salivation. So,
So when
well,
you sing, there's a lot of saliva coming out as well. So it does affect in some ways. Yeah?
That's true. And well, of course, you have to keep on wiping your mouth and stuff like that. Not a good sight, but well. So the most common problem when it comes to singing that I see people with braces is lisping. So like I told you, when you have something foreign in your mouth and you have all these metal substances in your mouth and a lot of things in your mouth and you can't exactly feel yourself, you feel uncomfortable with that, you try and speak normally but you can't. So what happens is you lisp. What is the meaning of lisping is something that you can see in my heartthrob side Sadiq. I love him so much, but he has a lisping problem. I just want to point it out. Bro, you have a lisping problem. I don't want to marry you. But if you realize, right, he always says S in a different way. He'll say school, please. You know, if you realize this. I mean, I love this guy, but yeah. So lisping is something you can see. You can see the person's tongue protruding out if you really, really observe. Mm. Because yes, it's really difficult.
70,
And
76 trombone.
exactly. And even Drew Barrymore till today
Mhm.
she has lisping and she's
Ah.
proud of it.
But
She's proud of it.
all these but lips can be trained when you have speech
True.
pathologists and well in our circle we have Rat and we have Peng who are
Exactly.
speech pathologists that can help with this.
That's true. That's their specialty. I'll refer them there. And also Zac Efron, another heartthrob, also has lisping and what sort. So how do you prevent? I mean, well, how do you prevent as in how do you make them occur less? I'm not saying that they would never happen, but it can prevent. Of course, prevention is better than cure, right? So when you have your braces, like I told you, you have a lot of tightening, you have a lot of pressure in your mouth, you feel like somebody just punched you on the face. So what you do is definitely have something soft lah. Okay, treat yourself like a baby, treat yourself like a child. Trust me when I say I want you guys to have ice creams when you have your braces on. I mean, I always I always advise my patients to have ice creams because trust me, of course, if you don't look at calories, right, ice creams can do wonders. It causes happiness, it can cure toothache and stuff like that. I mean, it can give you a temporary relief lah when it comes like that. So when you're coming for singing, for example, drink a lot of water. I mean, even I do that. I mean, I've never had braces before. Drink a lot of water. Make sure that your oral cavity is always moist. You have some production, a little bit of production of saliva, not too dry, and that will help you out actually. And for the lips, if you have ulcers, always use Vaseline, and stuff like that. Something really simple. You want to maintain your oral hygiene. You don't have to go searching for Listerine, trust me. You have everything you want at home. You don't have to go buy anything extra. Just use salt water gargling. That'll be fine. You have a sore throat. I think honey, lemon tea, right? Casey, right? You have everything at
All
home.
the
Tak
remedies,
payah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, all the remedies you have around you. Don't have to go out and get it. So when it comes to a person, for example, Dr. Casey student who asked, is it okay if I wear braces? Can I sing? I would say only one thing. I mean, you can do anything in the world. The best singer, Beyonce. I mean, I love to be her one day. I hope with Dr. Casey's training, I'm sure I'll get there
You will.
somewhere. And Miley Cyrus. I mean, of course, you guys know Miley Cyrus had braces on. She looks different. She used to sing different. I think she can hit better notes after she did her braces because she has corrected her problems. So adaptability is something which is very, very important, not only braces but in life. So I would like to quote Dr. Casey again,
Uh,
talent comes from attitude. So
yes.
if your attitude is to adapt, you can definitely adapt with everything. MCO, without MCO, braces, without braces, no issues. All right.
Mhm.
So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. All right. So if you have anything, you can definitely email me. The email was on Casey's slide just now, kan?
Yes, and I will show it again later at the end.
All right. So is there any questions?
So what we'll do is I'll play
Mhm.
on our some messages from our sponsors, and
Okay.
then we will take questions from our viewers.
Sure. Okay. So I'll stop sharing this one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So. Okay, there you go. So now we would like to open the session for your question and answers. So if you have any questions, so this is the time. Um, so let's see who has a question over. Yes, we have Hazrik. Yes, Hazrik, how are you? And we have also from Mesha. So we'll take the question. Let me just have a look first how many people have a question. So we have Hazrik, we have Mesha, and anyone else? Okay, so let's start with Hazrik first, and then we'll go over to Mesha. So what's your question, Hazrik?
Okay, hi Dr. Casey, hi Dr.
Hello.
Ashwini. So
Hi,
just let I would let Dr. Ashwini to know I am also a medical student, singing doctor to be, and
okay.
just to be inspiring and motivating lah when singing. All right. So my question is first regarding the what do we call that? Oh yes, just now you talk about the temporomandibular joint. All right. So my question is that in in cancer patient, they are cachexia, meaning they have muscle wasting at their temporalis muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So like myself as well, it's quite like wasting here, but I'm not sure if it's pathology or not. But my question is that if patient has like wasting at their temporalis muscle, will that affect the voice production? That's the first question.
Do you want me to answer the first question first? Okay. So when somebody is acaxic is basically, well, somebody who's lack of nutrition and the cells are degenerating more than they're producing, right, Mr. Hazrik? So when there is degeneration of any muscles anywhere, not just temporal or anything, wherever, definitely there will be a little bit of degeneration, right? When there's degeneration and it doesn't hold on to the joint is like a swing. So you have two ropes and then you have have a bone in between. So when one of your ropes are getting weary, you yourself, you can imagine, right, that the swing wouldn't be that strong anymore, right? Do you get me? So of course, when there's degeneration, it will definitely affect your temporomandibular joint. And when you're singing, you would probably be more tired than I am, maybe, for example, because your degeneration is already there. Your swing cannot be held properly. So there's more tension to the other muscles which are actually holding it together so that you don't get a drop jaw. So that's why you have, your endurance for singing will be slightly less, but it doesn't mean that you cannot sing altogether. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So I have
Sure.
a second question regarding lisping. Okay, I just wonder because in Arabic we have like words of two. I mean that as in English we can pronounce in two ways in Arabic, which are sin and tha. So I just wonder, sa means pronounce sa as a sa. Okay, but then if we pronounce tha, it is th. Like we pronounce three. In English tiga, in English is three. It's not three. Kalau three pokok kan, three. So th there like tha. So is that kind
Okay.
of a lisping there?
Well, some lispings are produced intentionally. Some lispings they are not, and some lispings, lisping is actually called. How do you say? Sometimes is trained by some people for you to have lisping. In some cultures, when you see, they speak naturally like that, but the lisping that I was talking about was something to do with someone who doesn't have a teeth, for example, or the teeth is malaligned. But the lisping that is caused intentionally, it's fine as long as you pronounce the words properly for each and every thing that you're singing, it'll be fine. For example, even I had problems with Under the Greenwood Tree. I hate that piece, but
Let's listen to Dr. Ashwini singing that under the green.
no way. you know that's simple English, but we had to and through. I have a problem pronouncing to and through. I think that's the problem, that I always kena marah and because of this. But
And the
see,
three and three, right? That what Haziq was mentioning, because a lot of us Malaysians, we are not careful of how we articulate our words. So usually in class, 3 and 3, because even I hear it on television sometimes when people go like 3 3 3 or go through the, I was like, it's different with PH and TR. In fact, in some of my classes, actually all my choir classes, I put on the TH. I'll show them TH sounds in the front of the words, TH in the middle of the word, and TH at the back of the word, because it's 3 and 3 at 30, 3 trees. Yeah.
true. So that's the thing. Some lispings are intentionally created and some lispings are not. You cannot help it because your teeth is produced, I mean, your teeth is aligned that way. So that is the lisping that I was talking about. But well, if it helps you pronouncing the Arabic words properly, then okay. For example, even French is quite, for me, I feel that is a little bit nasalized. Even I cannot pronounce certain words. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and then I got the last question.
Sure.
Okay, this is regarding the future because I just want is in my wish list. I would like to become a singing doctor, inspiring singing doctor. So like you are just another singing dentist. So my future will be so busy. I will be becoming a doctor soon. So how can I actually sing? Just being a YouTuber or how?
You know, I always believe that passion drives everyone through. And when it comes, I mean, I learn a lot from Dr. Casey. Like, I know the amount of hours he puts in for his students. I know that he doesn't have that much of sleep sometimes. I know I've seen him, but the only thing that drives him through is his passion of music. I've seen him and I'm like, kesian ya. I feel so bad sometimes that I cannot help him. And I know that he travels across countries to teach, and I travel across states. He travels across countries. If he can do it, our busy schedule would never be a problem. But well, to answer your question, if I'm bored, I've not been in BTSM, I mean Broadway for a long time, but social media wise, if you use
Now,
apps, yeah, for now, I will definitely be back because I cannot live without it. But you have a lot of apps, YouTube or WeSing or Smule that you can keep on practicing because our our vocal cord is an instrument. If you want to keep it aside, you'll definitely not do justice to the instrument. So for me, I keep on practicing using WeSing. I just record myself on voice notes, whatever. But the only thing I want to put here is that when you have passion, nothing can stop you. And I learned that a lot from Dr. Casey. Yeah. Hope that answers the
you,
question.
Asri, I hope you get
Okay, thank.
transferred over to KL and you can come and sing with us.
Sure. That's my wish list as well.
We really have a lot of things going on. We have show choir, we have of course the traditional kind of choirs, and we also have the repertory theatre club. In fact, we produce Rent with that, and we are supposed to produce Cinderella this year, but unfortunately MCO came to the rescue. Because MCO came to the rescue, so Cinderella is being postponed until further notice. So we have lots of activities, and through the past, our choir has seen, now strangely, that we have seen a few dentists in there. Yeah, we seem to be having dentists. So let's get the doctors over to sing as well. Yeah, so
Yeah, I needed the month.
yes.
Maybe I can join soon.
Yeah, we
You
hope
should
so.
join. You know what? During this lockdown, it gave me an idea of actually starting an online singing club. I'm trying to find a time now to squeeze an online singing club, so that so we can join in, and then we have a theme, like every week a different theme. Maybe one is like Broadway of the 80s, so which means you come up online, you put your name, and we draw out from the box. Okay, it's Hasrik, so you're going to sing one song from Broadway from the 80s or something. I know Zamil is excited. By the way, Zamil just released his single, right, Zamil? Yeah, so you guys should check it out. I've already posted it out, and I think we should invite Zamil over on our session. And when we start moving into the singing one, because Zamil has done musical theatre, he appears on TV very much, and there's a lot of things in which he can share with all of us on that part, being a professional. Yeah, so that's on my list now, to also start an online singing club, because I think this online thing is great. We have the technology and the internet. Well, strangely, these few weeks the internet has been superb. So I think that the internet has been all right. So I'm going to start this singing club, because also this month I'm launching my new program for people who are doing IGCSE and the International Baccalaureate Music program. Yep. So if you have people wanting to do that, they can contact me, because I love teaching all this stuff, especially the IGCSE stuff, because you cover so many things. Well, if you want to know, just text me. Yeah. So yeah, Hasrik. So try that. Have your own YouTube channel and so on. But may I request something? Please do not try open mic. That's something in which us professionals are totally against. You see, open mic, it's very nice for restaurant owners, but it's really killing the industry, because all of us as professionals, it's our bread and butter. We earn through shows. And so sometimes when restaurants put it like, come and sing at our place, and you will get to publicize yourself and so on. So if we turn the tables around, like someone has written, how about like, I'm having a concert, why not come and serve food to my guests? And if people find it delicious, they will pop over to your restaurant. Now, no restaurant will do that. But us who sing, our passion, right? Why do we give in to restaurants just for a bowl of spaghetti? Right, so that's one thing I advise everyone. Or if there are restaurant owners out there, I hope you are not offended by this, but I hope this message comes across, because artists and musicians need money to survive. Because it may seem like a lucrative thing for restaurant owners now to have free music, but when us artists are out of jobs and we have to serve dishes and so on, then that's the end of professional performing arts. Yeah, so think about it. It's and everyone out there, all these open mic things, it's good, but to a certain extent. It's good maybe for just for fun for people to sing about, but lately open mics have become something in which it pulls away people from the session of like just having fun into actually popularizing a certain place. Yeah, so I would say, but YouTube platforms, by all means, that's totally fine. And when you do YouTube channels, right, never mind if you get a negative feedback. Any feedback is feedback after all. Even though if you have, for example, 50 likes and 60 dislikes, don't get disappointed. Those people who have put dislike will know who you are. And one fine day, they've got something to say about you as well. Yeah, because if you see, bad publicity is also publicity in a way. Right? I've known of a lot of people who people criticize, and in the end, they are still popular in some other way, right? So yeah, so I hope to have you over to sing. So, okay, that was very nice to talk. So now let's go over to the next question by Mesha. Hello, Mesha.
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you?
Dr. Casey, and hi, Dr. Ashwini.
Hello, Misha. I can't see the screen. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe I think you have to
Can
move to the next side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
you see me?
Alright.
Okay. So my question is, sometimes after I sing high pitch, I feel my jaw is stuck.
Mhm.
It takes
Mhm.
time to come back normal. So I want to know why it happens, and is there any practice that I should do?
Well, even I feel the same way. I mean, we are the same boat. Don't worry about it. Well, maybe, well, basically, when you're singing, maybe you're just feeling stressed. You have always, as humans, we have over expectations. So that over expectation turns into what do you call that, stress sometimes. So what happens when you're singing and you're stressed? So basically, you are putting too much you're constricting your muscles too much here. So whenever you constrict too much of muscle and you're not relaxed when you're singing, that's what causes a lot of jaw pain. And maybe I think you're pretty young. Maybe you might have a wisdom tooth infection also. Maybe, I don't know. You should take an X-ray and see. And like I told you earlier, wisdom tooth infection can also cause TMJ problems. TMJ problems is the first thing that you will see when you have any TMJ problems is that you feel a lot of pain on your jaw, on your cheeks, on your head. So if you think that you may have a wisdom tooth, coming out or impacted, you can just get yourself checked out. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only
Thank
way
you.
of you're welcome. Yeah, the only way for you to relieve the pain is definitely to relax it. Use some warm and cold compress on the jaw area, alternatively. Then that should help. And if you have like night grinding habits, then you should also get your mouth cut done from the dentist, and that I think
Okay.
should be fine.
Mesha, you
Okay.
mentioned about when you're singing at a high pitch, isn't it?
Pardon, doctor?
You were saying that happens when you're singing in high pitch.
Yeah.
So also worth looking in the mirror and see how you position your jaw. Okay.
Okay.
And may I note is that do you sing high pitch in Western music or is it Indian Carnatic music?
Indian Carnatic music.
Okay, that's interesting. You will have to look also on how you position your jaw. If your jaw is in a very locked position all the time, all right. So try and see. So remember, you can be front, mid, back, or drop. And when you are singing high pitched, usually you would want the thyroid cartilage to tilt much more. All right. So it's better for you to be in this position, looking down, rather than looking up, because the one tendency of people wanting to sing high pitch is that they look up. So I always tell students look down, 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 but sometimes I look at the eyeball is still looking up. All right? Looking up doesn't help the pitch to go up, but positioning this way. All right? So look yourself in the mirror and you will see that position, because if you're singing all the time like doing and getting this way up, that might also cause some stress over there. So So think about this. When you're singing high pitch, so because the jaw doesn't influence the pitch, jaw helps you to get your tone color. So I can't advise you about Carnatic music because I don't sing Carnatic music. But in terms of Western singing, we use the jaw, front or drop jaw, in order for us to get darker sound. If we want to sing a more mellow sound, all right? So I'm guessing if you're singing Carnatic music, it wouldn't be as dark as the operatic sound. So see if you are doing this too much or you're dropping the jaw too much, all right? So if possible, try it to have a very neutral position, which is the mid position. Now, to get your high pitch, try raising your larynx up high like this. Okay, when you want to raise your larynx up high, try to think of how a 5-year-old girl would talk. Mommy, mommy. That way, all right? A 5-year-old girl won't go, mommy, mommy. Right? Mommy, mommy. That way. And then, think about the thyroid tilting much more. So, you can also do that by doing sirens. That will help you tilt the thyroid cartilage even more. So if you alter different muscles to work to get pitch higher, then perhaps this jaw wouldn't be tense anymore. Okay, so now because we have covered certain physiology regarding certain anatomical parts, so try and think about that. Raising the larynx, tilting the thyroid cartilage, all right, and then relaxing the jaw at its mid position. Try that and see how it works. I'm interested to see if there is any progress. Maybe in the next session you could tell me how it is, and also email me. I would love to see if there is some progress. Now, even though if there's no progress, I would like to hear from that, because it's interesting. Now you see, it's an interesting journey, because each student that we encounter will have a unique situation, okay, a slight degree a uniqueness. So and then and we can see how we can go along. Yeah, because next week we'll be talking about the tongue together with Peng, Miss Sirirat, and the tongue as well will help you with high notes.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
You're most welcome. So, do we have any other questions? Zamil! Yes, Zamil!
Hello. Okay. Hi.
Hi, Zamil.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Hello, Dr. Casey, and also Dr. Ashwini. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zamil. Okay, this is based on my two.
Oops. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I got a call. So yeah. Okay, this is based on my personal situation where I had removed my tonsils when I was young because I kept having fever.
Mm-hmm.
So does that affect the voice? That's one. And the second situation is I also had one of my wisdom tooth, or you call it the third molar, right? Removed. Yeah.
Yep.
Does that also affect the shape of the jaw where you want to articulate and speak and also sing better? Because I only remove one side, and they say that if you don't have any problems with the other side, don't remove it. But is it an option also to remove, to make it more balanced in a way, right? So that your jaw, when you when you want to articulate and you want to sing and you want to drop the jaw, it helps. Does that make any sense?
I think you answered your own question already. Of course, it's imbalance. So let me answer the second question first. Yeah. So whenever you see your tooth, right, even if you can see it right now, when you go to a mirror and then you reflect your tooth, you see the upper and lower tooth occluding like this, right? So when you have 1/3 molar, the one on your left, right, removed, if I'm not, I think it's the one on the left, right, that you removed, and the other one on the right, which is not removed. One thing that you have to look is that whether you have a tooth below it or not, the one which occludes along with it. So let's say this is the lower tooth and this is the upper tooth. So if you have something below that doesn't have any contact, yes, then it can cause something known as imbalance of contact. Yes, true. But then if you memang tak ada apa-apa dekat bawah tu, there won't be any problem because you're not contacting with anything. Nothing is occluding with anything. So, tak payah remove pun tak apa. But I will definitely advise you to remove because if you realize every tooth will, how do you say, bertembung like this. So if there's two tooth here, one tooth will be here and then the other tooth, let's say this is your third molar, it will actually touch one part of the tooth here, which we call the distal side of your second molar. Is it too technical? So my advice is always, I don't know lah. Me, I'm a bit OCD in that sense that when I want to remove something, I'll remove both for me so that it will have a balance in occlusion. For me, it's always like that. It makes a lot of sense because when you grow older and older and older, if you don't have your molar dekat bawah ni, your third molar will naturally come down because of gravity. And then when it comes down because of gravity, it'll impinge on your gums and later on you have a problem. So basically, yes, betul, you'll have imbalance of occlusion. But when you grow older because of gravity, it will come down and later on you'll have a lot of other problems as well. So if you don't have any occluding tooth below, tak ada masalah. If you have any occluding tooth below, well, it's better for you to get it removed.
Okay.
And then your first question being tonsils. Yeah, tonsillitis. I have tonsil problems. I've told Casey before, and I was about to remove my tonsils as well. Tonsillectomy is not my domain, but I can explain to you very briefly because tonsillectomy is under ENT. That's not my domain, but there's one thing that I can explain is that there is full tonsillectomy and partial tonsillectomy, as far as I know. This is from my Google knowledge. Yeah? So tonsils nowadays is removed using partial tonsillectomy, basically because they don't want to injure too much of what do you call that, structures down there. So basically, I'll give you an analogy. It's like cutting an orange into two. So you're cutting the orange into two, but the orange is still there. You get me? So your resonance will be there because the structure is still there. So I don't think it will exactly influence in this vocal voice reduction, whatever, depending on what kind of tonsillectomy you've done. If you have done a full tonsillectomy, yep, maybe true. And the other reason why you lose your voice after tonsillectomy is not because of the tonsillectomy per se, it's because of the intubation tube that they actually put there. Because it basically scratches sometimes. Things happen. That's the reason.
Very dangerous, yeah.
That's very, very dangerous.
I don't think it affects because the tonsils alone. I mean, the tonsils are not part of the vocal tract that produce that helps in the filter, because the filter is made up of the tongue, the lips, the jaw, the velum, the epiglottis, and the false vocal folds. So even if your tonsils are removed, it's not going to affect the phonetical sounds. Yeah. So that's totally fine. But what Dr. Ashwini said is true. Whenever there is a tubes going in inside, usually someone was saying it's more towards saving lives rather than to take care of whether that person vocal folds will be safe or not. So that's always a risk over there. But yeah, that would be fine. All right. Oh, I think it's so interesting today, this conversation. So do we have any other questions? So anyone else? So if there's no other questions, thank you very much for joining us today. So next week we will be together with Miss Srinakorn with Peng, right? Next week that we'll be talking about the tongue and also about the aging voice. All right, we will talk about the tongue and the aging voice. Now we all will we all age through time. And so it's good to know what are the symptoms, what you can do, and also we're talking about the tongue, which is also related to the jaw. See, I'm covering all the filter before I go in deeper. All right. So if you have any questions, please look up on my new fan page. Just type Dr. Casey Broadway, or you can email me, and you also can email Dr. Ashwini over there, and be in touch with us. And if you want to sing along with us, do let us know, because during this MCO, my choirs have not taken a break. We have been meeting religiously on Wednesdays and Thursdays for the chamber choir, and Fridays for the concert choir. So if you want to join us, let us know. Contact Nana. She's there. She is the choir manager. Yeah, and also soon we will. I'm trying to set up this online singing club. Right, so the online singing club. So it's for the fun of it. Okay, it's not to judge anyone, and then I'll be there like the moderator, and then it's like a masterclass thing. All right, for those who want to consult. If for those who don't want to consult, it's okay. They can just sing. So, but to make it more fun, perhaps like we have the confirmed people wanting to join in, and then after that, then like they prepare, and then we will pull out from the hat the name, and okay, you're gonna sing. So but I'm trying to figure out that I'm stabilizing my schedule, because ASWARA has just started their lectures this week. It is all on online mode. There's many things for us to prepare. Even it's a 2 hours lecture, but it takes me like 4.5 hours to prepare a lecture video to upload, because I think I draw a lot of OCD circle of friends together with me, like Dr. Ashwini. When I do my video, I have to make sure that there is an introduction of it, and then after that edit that, and then have like a next slide to introduce the next thing, and so on. And if I make a mistake, I delete the entire thing and redo, and so on. So yeah, but it's fun, guys. I'm actually starting to enjoy this this new normal, except that I really miss the time that we can just go out traveling, meeting friends, and so on. But it will come. Let's all pray and hope that the pandemic will be over soon, and we can all move around our country to keep up our economy. I think it's important now that we help boost our economy, put away our differences, don't talk about political stuff, because after all, we are here to support one another, no matter what is up there. So I think it's very, very important now. We don't look at the political stuff, because if we care about that, then how are we going to survive, right? So, and then if we are stressed, we sing. There are songs that make you cry to release those trapped feelings. There are songs that will tickle you to laugh. So keep on singing. And I have this one motto for me. It's sing and travel the world. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Take care, and see you guys next week. Bye-bye.